Welcome to the latest Motley Fool scoreboard. I'm on Balloon. We've got longtime fools, Lou Whiteman and Toby Bordelon, giving a 1 to 10 rating to the virtual signing company with greater aspirations, DocuSign, ticker symbol DOCU. We'll get to the business first, including industry and competition. A 10 is invincible, a 1 is hopeless. Toby's at a 6, Lou's at a 5. Let's go with the tepid bull case with Toby.
Yeah, DocuSign. This is the company that's trying to digitize documents and everything having to do with them, including the management of those contracts over time, along with their their e-signature platform. It's a strong brand. The technology is very good. And a few years ago, I would have probably said 8 or even 9 here, right? But what have the last few years shown us? It's shown us that competition is real, and e-signature, even contract life and document management, they're trying to push. They're not that hard of a business to get into. Adobe is doing it and doing it well. There's a lot of competition out there. Can DocuSign outcompete Adobe and the other players in the field? I'm not really convinced yet that they ultimately can. They need to prove the momentum they've shown recently is sustainable before I can go higher. So that's why I'm still at a 6 right now.
So what they do very well. And they may just outcompete Adobe on that particular product. But for the business, kind of the issue for me is what else do they do, or where they grow from this core feature? A few years ago was the agreement cloud, where managed the document through the entire life cycle, and it turns out that was kind of a commoditized feature of any platform. Now it's all about AI with the intelligent agreement management platform, the IAM, which kind of sounds like agreement cloud. It's a great product in search of a bigger business here, and I'm at a 5 until I see what that second act is.
Yeah, I want online signing. Don't necessarily care as an end user where it comes from. They all seem to work fine. Let's talk about management. A 10 is Warren Buffett. A 1 is Homer Simpson. Toby's at a 7. Lou's at a 6. Go ahead, Toby.
Yeah, 7 here. CEO Allan Thygesen has really gotten the company back on track, relatively new to the job. Black Grayson, the CFO, he's solid too. Recently coming on board from the Trade Desk, company with a great track record. He was also CFO, so good management team. I knocked them down a little bit, not because of the current leaders, but because of the turmoil we've seen in leadership recently that they've struggled through, and I largely blame the board for that, actually. But let's see what this team can do over the next few years.
Yeah, Thygesen has been a breath of fresh air. He came in, I think it was October 2022, was exactly what the company needed because it was kind of chaos there. Like, what are we going to be? And he has kind of gotten that core product back, refocus, get back to what they do good. Same questions before, though. Like, to be higher than a 6 for me is you have to be that visionary that figures out what this company does from here. I don't know the answer. I don't get the impression so far that he really has a firm answer. It might be impossible, so I might be being really hard on him here, but absent that, it's going to hold back my score.
We must sign more DOCUs. Everyone, let's go.
There you go.
Financials. A 10 is a fortress. A 1 is yikes. Both of you have a 7. Go ahead, Lou.
Yeah, solidly profitable, a lot more cash than debt, a lot to like here. It feels like DocuSign can sustain like being what they are for a long time, and that's to credit the financials. Stock-based compensation is an issue. Share count here for a mature tech company up 15% over the past 5 years, not what we want to see, especially at this point of its lifestyle. But again, the issue with the company is not the balance sheet, is not like they can't make money or anything. It's just kind of what from here. Solid financials, balance sheet's a plus here.
Yeah, 7 for me too here. Revenue growth is really nice. Margins moving in the right direction. Almost $1 billion in cash and short-term investments with no long-term debt on the balance sheet. So as Lou noted, really, really nice balance sheet here. Cash flow looks pretty good as well. Stock-based comp, like Lou said, that is still too high. Now they are still cash flow positive, even if you factor out stock-based comp. But still, it's a little bit too much, more than we want to see.
Lou, let's move on to valuation. How well will DocuSign stock do over the next 5 years? And how safe is it? 10 is a sure thing, 1's a lottery ticket.
This is a crazy chart. This is kind of just fun to watch because the stock is 70% below its all-time high from the pandemic, but it's up 64% year to date. So it really is, kind of where you look at it. In hindsight, we all should have bought it in January. That said, I have a hard time believing that anything close to that pace can be sustained. I'm at 5 to 10% here, plodding along at the market's pace over the next 5 years. For safety, I really respect the business they have. I think even if it does get beaten, that'll take time. but it can be beaten. You can't imagine a world without DocuSign where you still do this. So I'm at a 4. I don't see where they go from here. So at best, it just plods along.
Yeah, I'm a little more optimistic than Lou here. I'm going 10 to 15% over the next 5 years if they can keep the good times going. I'm not super confident in that guess, though. Hence my safety score of 5. There's just a lot of competition out there, and given the recent rebound in the stock, that's quite nice. You worry if that's sustainable.
It's everyone's favorite topic time. Toby, is there a company in DocuSign space you like more?
Yeah, it's got to be Adobe here, right? I mean, they're doing similar stuff, but they're doing it a little bit better, it looks like. And they've got that whole creative suite business to fall back on if suddenly the world decides eDocs is not where it's at. Now, I think that's really unlikely, right? But multiple diverse revenue streams is certainly better than being DocuSign, which is essentially a one-trick pony here.
Yeah, I hate to be boring, but Adobe was the first name that came to me too. Similar space, but to this central theme of my whole of everything I'm saying here, they are better positioned, I think, to answer the question of what else or what more. I would also note, just as a stock, they have been kind of hit really hard right now, so you're not getting that post 64% up year to date. Neither stock to me is a no-brainer, but I do feel like Adobe, I like the prospects from here a lot better. So if of the two, I'd much rather own Adobe.
Thanks to both Lou and to Toby. They've given DocuSign a meh overall score of 6.0 out of 10. Not much really stands out for this one other than maybe look at Adobe. Look out for a new scoreboard every market day at 7 p.m. Eastern. Next up is Nelnet. Till then, Fool on.
That's not true.
No, Toby, it's true. Say it. Say it on air.